like this isn't a group exercise class. That's Monday night, right, Sonia? Okay, so I am celebrating freedom from hatred and unforgiveness, and I am up here to introduce tonight's speaker. Hello, Miss Vicki. Casey, if you want to come up here. This is my friend Casey. She's wonderful, and you guys are in for a real treat. It is an honor not just to participate in this ministry, but to have the opportunity to be trusted to sponsor someone going through a process group. And it's honest, I've done it a few times, and it's honestly something that I am wholly unqualified for. But it is an honor nonetheless. And so this last go-around that we just finished, I had the honor of sponsoring my friend Casey here. And I am so proud of her. She did the hard work of looking at her life, looking at how others contributed to her hurts, habits, and hang-ups, how she contributed to her own hurts, habits, and hang-ups. So I'm going to pray her in, and then she is going to share with you something that the Lord has laid on her heart about things that He has accomplished in her life and how He's been faithful to her specifically. Lord, we thank You for this time to gather together to hear not just what You've done in Casey's life specifically, but what You are willing, capable, and able to do for any of us, because You are the same yesterday, today, and forevermore, and You are no respecter of persons, Lord. So I ask that You embolden Casey to share what You have laid on her heart to share of what You have done for her and the ways that You have transformed her life and brought restoration to her life. And I ask that You calm her nerves and help her to speak with authority. And I ask that You help her words to meet their mark, Lord, even if it's just for the one. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hello, everybody. I'm Casey. I'm a grateful believer in Jesus Christ. I am in recovery for codependency, hatred, and lack of self-worth. I'm sorry if I cry. It's tears of joy, I promise. Growing up, I wasn't shown a lot of affection. I didn't know how to be affectionate. My mom was a very stern and unhappy person. I never felt good enough for her or my stepdad. Their number one focus was work. I was the free babysitter. The only good thing that came from that was my work ethic. As an adult, I started working the day I turned 15. As I'm writing this, I realized that I have used work as an escape from the real world. Life was pretty simple until I was 16. Chaos wreaked havoc on my life. One accusation destroyed my childhood. The one person who introduced me to my Savior. I got saved when I was 13. My grandmother was the only person I truly felt that loved me. She was ripped out of my life, and to me that was devastating. At 16, my mom and stepdad turned into raging alcoholics. I had never seen so much rage. I was 16 when I was kicked out because of a drunken rage. So for 2 weeks I slept wherever I could find. My boss at the time found out I was homeless and invited me to come stay with her. She hit a hard spot in life and lost her home. So again, I was homeless again. Well, eventually my mom left my stepdad. She got a one-bedroom apartment, and the four of us, me, my brother, sister, and her, lived there. At 17, I met a boy and thought he loved me. Well, his way of showing me he loved me was getting high on meth and beating me. Sexually assaulting me. I was told that by my stepdad that if I had listened the first time, it wouldn't have happened. Well, finally it wasn't of any use to him anymore, so I was homeless again. And then I was finally allowed to come home for a short time. I graduated high school, joined the National Guard as a military police officer. That was one of the hardest things I ever did. I lost 65 pounds, and I went to MEPS 6 times. They would deny me the first 5 times because I was a pound too heavy, an inch too big, 2 inches too big. It was even 3/4 of an inch too big. And that's, long story short, I got a discharge. I got a really disturbing letter from home that my brother and sister didn't have anybody to look up to, so suicide entered my life. And I was like, well, maybe if they think I'm crazy, they'll let me go home and I can take care of them. I can be a mom again to them. I came home, and that's when I started experimenting with coping skills. I wanted to be loved. That's it, just loved. I experienced booze, men, pills. That went on for about a year. And I was laying on my mom's couch. Suddenly I realized that something didn't happen like it was supposed to. And I went and got a test, and there were 2 pink lines. And I was alone and scared, and 7 months later I delivered a beautiful baby boy who would teach me what love really was on earth. The only reason I knew who Jesus was is because of my grandmother. I knew this little boy needed Jesus. I wasn't about to let him go so long without knowing the Lord. I struggled from time to time with my walk with God in and out of living for the Lord. I did not have patience at all. When God created me, that was one ingredient He did not put in there. Like, that was not part of me. Patience was not my strong suit. I spent so many years self-sabotaging myself. All I wanted was to be loved, and at this point in life, I believed anything a man said to me. Well, that ended up giving me my first daughter. When she was 3, my son was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. And they told me that I would outlive him, that he would not reach into his 20s. He's 17 now. I was working at Walmart. At that time, a single mom of 2 kids, alone, scared, until I lost my job. And a few weeks later, I was at a new job. My boss found out what I was going through, and he grabbed another female coworker and asked, "Can I pray for you?" I said, "Yeah." I agreed, and they prayed over me in the middle of the Duracell plant on Mouse Creek. Stood there, production going. They didn't care. They prayed for me. A year later, when I had my 3rd child, we had to go have him tested because it was a genetic disorder, and it was fatal. The doctor said, "I don't know why we diagnosed him because now he doesn't show positive. I don't know what happened, but he does not have it. He's going to survive. He's going to be fine." And this was the first time that I truly felt His presence. But I was dumb and ignorant and just had my 3rd child. 6 months after he was born, I met my ex-husband. I believed everything he said. Well, there came my 2nd girl. She was born, and he left during my pregnancy and came back, and I begged him to marry me. I didn't want to raise 4 kids alone. And for 13 hours, I begged this kid to marry me and help me raise her. And he agreed. He wasn't violent. He had a bad habit of getting... He wasn't violent. I had a bad habit of getting the ones who got high, drunk, and like to hit on women. His form of abuse was different. I never thought he was capable of being unfaithful. But for 7 years, I had been kept at a distance. And while he had his other love on the side, I was competing constantly with her. It wasn't, I had dabbled with God off and on, and when I had no other choice. 2 months after we got married, I found out I was pregnant with Oliver. Oliver is my youngest, 7 now. This is where another time where God showed out in my life. And it's usually in the front of my children. The doctors told me that if you continue this pregnancy, it'll kill you. They didn't see any good coming out of me delivering this child. But I had a doctor who also had faith. And he said, "I will support you any way you go. If you choose to continue the pregnancy, we'll give you the best care that we can." And I continued the pregnancy. And in order to get the care, I had to stay close to Erlanger because Cleveland could not touch this. If I was to hemorrhage, I wouldn't make it to Chattanooga in time for them to save me, so I had to stay at the Ronald McDonald House for 4 months. Once the baby became viable and I could deliver any time and they had a chance to save him, I stayed in the Ronald McDonald House. I had my own bracelet, I had my own blood on reserve because they knew that I was going to lose a lot, and they knew there was a good chance I might not. I had to make a phone call on November 17th. I get the dates mixed up because I was out for quite a while afterwards. He likes it when I forget his birthday because he gets missed 2 in 1 year. I've done that twice, back to back. When you got 5, you forget dates, so. God showed up. He's shown out big time. He was healthy and perfect. But God needed me away from my children, my family, so I could get closer to Him. And it was all stepping stones to be closer to God. My prayer was that God let me make it out of surgery alive so that I could raise my babies that He gave me. The first thing the doctor said to my mom was God was with us in that OR because she shouldn't have come out. This was the worst case of placenta previa I'd ever seen in my 37 years. My faith has been unshakable for 7 years. I followed the Lord. I worked hard to provide for my family. I always knew something was off. I never felt that He was faithful, my ex-husband. He always told me that he was too depressed to work. His anxiety was too bad. He couldn't function outside of the home. So I was forced to work a lot, sometimes 2 jobs. All I ever did was work. I missed so much of my kids' lives, first steps, first words, birthday parties, you name it, I missed it. It was so bad, Leland, my 10-year-old, would ride around with me while I door dashed until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just sleep in the back seat just so he could be near me. Now, about 4 years into my marriage, he became a major alcoholic. So me and the kids' life consisted of pure struggle. I worked so much but still had to beg for money. I would wake up with a couple $100 in my account, and I was like, okay, we're good for a couple of days. We got dinner, we got hot. And I'd wake up the next day and it would be gone because he got drunk and DoorDashed a bunch of food that I never saw. Or he was sending it to her. And then I started drinking. I worked so much, I would go to work as a functionable alcoholic. And I was, because I felt better when I drank. I didn't remember everything that was going on at home and the hell that I was feeling. I felt like God forgot who I was. I never doubted God, but I didn't feel worthy of His love, so I fell deeper in the bottle for about a year. And when I made a mistake that could have cost my child their life, God was not watching out for me, I would have been in a big mess. All I wanted in life was to be a good Christian, a good wife, and a loving and affectionate mother, which was something I never had or even seen except for in a movie. I wanted a classic Hallmark type of life. I started reading my Bible more and staying in a state of prayer. God made it possible for me to get into church. I lived head and heart first into God. I let Him give me the affection I desperately needed. For almost 2 years, I never missed a church service. I would work 7 days a week, and I would work just enough time for me to go teach Sunday school. I got my ministry license and became my church's Sunday school teacher. I never knew how much I needed that. I got to learn with the children, and I felt so close to the Lord. The things at home was awful. My relationship with the Lord was great. I prayed for my marriage to survive. That wasn't what God had planned. The Lord delivered me from so much hurt and pain, but the most painful season was yet to come. One night I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to my husband talking loudly. I got up to tell him to be quiet because I had to get up for work soon. Before I ever said anything, I heard the conversation. In that moment, pain hit me like a train. As I'm standing there hearing the current conversation, I wasn't the first time I caught them speaking inappropriately. I was in denial. I tried to beg once again to save our marriage, but there was one major problem. He denied the existence of God. And I knew at that moment that God had better for me. So I decided to go through with the divorce. I did. Well, we separated. Money was an issue, as it always was. Now I was a single mom of 5 kids, barely making it, and this is where I just strayed again. I met a guy, he promised so much, but just needed a woman to support him. He got mean to the kids, and I tried to defend them. Things got dark behind closed doors. No damage wasn't easily seen, but after one particular night, the assault was so bad on me, with tears in my eyes, I begged God for a way out. After his kids went home that weekend, I made him leave, and he taunted me for a while. After a couple weeks, it finally stopped. I struggled with whether I finally accepted. Hold on. I made him leave. He taunted me, and after a couple weeks, it stopped. I finally accepted an invite from a coworker to come see how good my brother was doing. My brother was in 180 at the time. And I struggled with whether or not I was going to come. He'd been asking me for a while, and I was like, no, I don't care anything about how he's doing. I just did not care. At that point, I just didn't care. I already had the spirit of suicide come at me, so when God took control of that steering wheel that night, driving down Dalton Pike, I had a bottle of pills, and I went to swerve. And I know God had my steering wheel because I should have hit the 18-wheeler. I wanted to be done. My kids deserved a better mom. They deserved a better life than what I was giving them. But I came anyway. I came January 12th, 2023. Sarah Hawkins was doing her testimony that night. And I met another wonderful woman. I've never known love until I found South Cleveland. Your women here have lifted me up. I showed up, and was greeted by Mark Brown. That is my buddy. He said, hey, this is my buddy Jody. I shook his hand. I said, nice to meet you. I went and saw my brother who's doing good. And as I was leaving, Miss Becky invited me to sit with her. This woman showed me what the epitome of a Christian woman looked like. And I was done with churches. I left my church. They let me break down in their parking lot. They didn't care how. Nothing happened to me. They didn't care. I was a Sunday school teacher and they did not care. So at this point, I was like, I'm done with church. I just feel the Holy Spirit radiate off her that night. And I had enough with her that I cannot explain. And that's why she's my best friend. She's not a friend I have to talk to every day, but I know if I'm struggling, Becky has my back. I said, Becky, pray. She will, no matter what. I knew I wasn't supposed to leave, and I'm so glad I stayed. Because God was about to do what He always does, show up and show out. I felt the Holy Spirit turn my thoughts around, and He spoke to me that night, and He told me, I have big plans for you. I didn't bring you this far for nothing. God had a special plan for me. He was about to shake my world. I didn't know a lot of kindness and love and affection. I didn't know how to give it. I didn't know how to receive it. Most of the people here watched most of you people that are here watched a little girl's dream come true on July 14th. Y'all watched every dream I dreamed of as a little girl come true. A man that loves God. I married the greatest man I found out what real love was. I felt that through all the pain that I've gone through was necessary for me to experience in order for me to be who I am today. And who I will be tomorrow. God had to mold me so that I could be the mother that my children needed to break that generational curse that has seared my family. I couldn't do it alone. He had to get me to a point where I could fully rely on him. And once I got to where he needed me, he brought me someone who loved him and sought after him. So God could show him how to love me properly in the way God has intended for me to ultimately be loved. And to also to give my kids an example of how they should love others. That to be treated from a boys, to never treat a woman the way they had previously been shown. They are being shown the correct way to love and to trust others. They are being shown what a healthy environment should be. I was 13 when I gave my life to Christ, and I didn't want my children to go along without Christ. So I tried to pour into them. One of the greatest things about teaching a Sunday school class was I have 5 kids. Guess who kids were in my class? 95% of them were mine. I got to witness 4 of my children give their life to Christ in my Sunday school class. Not many mamas can say that. And that was my prayer. Give them Christ. Because if I can't give them something, I know Christ can. I was finishing up my testimony today, and I went to my grandmother. We all have that spiritual person that leads us. I wanted to be just like her. There wasn't nothing better in this world. There was no better example than my grandmother, Marguerite. I loved her. I wanted to dress like her. I wanted to be like her. And I even started, she had all these certificates on her wall, all the different accomplishments, so I started going after it. Then I found out my career. I love food. I love food safety. That is where my heart is. So I went and got 3 different ServSafe certificates in a year. That's something I wanted to do because that's what my grandmother did. She went to school, she did classes, she got certificates, so I wanted to do it. And when she was taken out of my life, this when my world kind of